The only thing he requested from me was I had to have a field to play the games on. I had to be responsible for paying for the referees, and I also had to be responsible for my team being professional. So I was like, all right, cool. I can do that. So I called the jersey company back and I told them, check this out. Instead of 44 jerseys, I only need 25. They were like, cool. Send me $500. I can have the jerseys to you in 7 weeks. The first thing they asked me was, what style of jerseys do you want? I told them right now, since it's my first year, I want to go with the cheapest jerseys possible. So if this ever backfired, I didn't lose a lot of money. Then they asked me, what colors do you want? I've sent them everything. Sent them the logo. And the original jerseys had the Bulldog logo on them, but I had them removed for a reason, because a couple of them weren't pressed hard enough to where they're appealing, and I didn't want some of the jerseys having the Bulldog logo on them and some of them not. So I just asked the company to remove them, and they did. So to make a long story short, I sent them $500 the next day. I had worked I had like $250 left from one of my checks, and then I had to wait the next following week, and I think I had like a check that I still had like a remaining of $250 left, and it equaled out to $500 exactly. So that's crazy, huh? The funny thing is, I didn't even have enough money to send it, because the way you had to send it, they charge you to send it. So the good thing is, with the company, what I did was I called them and they were charging me a little bit more for the bigger size jerseys. But when I thought about it, and it's 8-man football, I found out I don't really need a lot of big guys, because I don't need a lot of players. So I had them remove one of the jerseys off the list. So then I went from 25 jerseys to 24. That opened up a window gap of like $28, just enough for me to send it. Mm-hmm. So I sent it. 7 weeks, I had a box that was delivered and had all the uniforms in it. So now, as far as the numbers, I actually had to get the numbers put on there separately, because the company that I got the jerseys from, they would have put the numbers on it, but every player that I was talking to that was interested in playing in the team, they wanted a certain type of number for some odd apparent reason. And
so do you get to just pick random numbers? You can just whatever number you want to put on there?
Yeah. Yep. And usually most players who have been playing football for a couple years, they usually stick with a number. It's sort of like one of those type of things where it's like good luck. You know what I mean? If you grew up and your favorite number was 5, most football players, they want the number 5 on their jersey. So that was the conflict. So what I had to do at that point in time was I found a printing company in Vegas that actually heat presses numbers on vinyl jerseys. So I was like, okay, cool. The lady ended up being hecka cool. She gave me a distributed price. She was like, if you bring in all the jerseys instead of bringing them one at a time, I'll give you a flat rate and I'll charge you just like that. Cool lady, hands down. Shout outs to Chris and her husband at Allsport Printing. They're awesome. They're based out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Family-owned company, man. They're awesome.
And you've just been making like a lot of networking and different contacts through this whole process. Right.
And it's been awesome, because that's actually how I got a chance to meet so many people that really helped me with this. Because like when I think about it, I think if it wasn't for those people, I don't think that my journey would have been so smooth. But the fact that I had people that I could call, like my ex-coach, who sort of helped me and coached me on how to do business moves, and then people who were in place that were helping me with the manufacturing of the jerseys and stuff like that, it really worked out cool. So the good thing about it is, as much as I try to be humble about this, I can honestly say that I started the original team back in like April of last year. And in about 4 months, when it was time to actually play the game of football, our first expedition game, I had literally close to 30 players on my team. And I started the team in 4 months. Not only did I have like 30 players, I had 2 professional coaches coaching my team. I had a coach that coached with the AFL team out of Arizona, who was my defensive coordinator. To this day, I love him. Shout out to Anthony Bartley. What's up, Bartley? If you're listening, you cool peoples. And then I had a head coach from San Mateo Junior College of the name of Chris Wallace. Chris Wallace is now the owner of the Cobras Arena football team, which is a professional football team here out of Las Vegas. And he was my offensive coordinator. Shout out to Chris Wallace. What up, Chris? So I had those two coaches. Then, you obviously had me being the owner, but I was actually not only an owner, but I was sort of doing a whole bunch of things. You can call me AKA Jerry Jones. But that's sort of how it started off. The good thing about it is we were very successful. I set up a couple preseason games before the actual season started with that San Diego league that I was telling you guys about earlier. So I reached out to a couple teams to test the waters to see, hey, we need some opponents we could play right now so we can get our feet wet to see, what we're gonna, be getting ourselves into. Come to find out, I reached out to a team in San Diego that my cousin knew about. Reached out to the team, reached out to the owner. To this day, his name is Peanut. What up, Peanut? My boy, solid. Me and him are we're really good friends. But he owns a team called the Bulldogs in San Diego. So he told me, hey, we don't mind playing you guys. When do you win and where? So I told him, hey, July 29th, which was came up here. This was all last year. He came up here with his team. This team was very good, and they were very big. They came here. The crazy thing about it is, so when they came to Vegas, they got here about 2 hours early. We were on the field looking at them warm up, and then that's when it hit me like, wow, is this what I really want to do? Because I saw those guys and they were huge. I looked at some of my players. I'm like, oh crap, I don't think they're ready for this. I'm the owner of this team. I got fans everywhere. So I'm having butterflies. Not only am I having butterflies, but I'm having anxiety. So I'm like, what do I do? That's when it just snapped in like, listen, this is what you've been wanting to do for a very long time. Go out there and do what you got to do. I gathered all the players together, gave them the uniforms. They got dressed in the locker room. They came out. I shook every man's hand. I told them, listen, guys, I brought you guys this far. It's time to trust me. We end up going out there. We end up beating that team. Not only did we beat the team, but we beat them the day of my birthday. And not only did we beat them the day of our birthday, but we beat them with 1 second on the clock. So that opened my eyes to a lot. And it made me think that I could do this. It felt so good winning. And to this day, I remember the name of that game. It was called the Bone Game. The reason why we called it the Bone Game, because we were the Bulldogs and they were the Bulldogs. But somebody had to fight for the bone. So I named it the Bone Game. They said that if we win... They said if we win, we get bragging rights for the whole year. They said if they win, they get bragging rights for the whole year. But they really wanted the battle for the name. Yeah. They said the winner gets to take the Bulldog name and the loser has to change their name. But even though we won, I told them, you guys can keep your name because you guys are from San Diego and we were from Vegas. So, yeah. That's how that story went. So, make a long... Mm-hmm.
When you were saying that you were having the anxiety and everything, what made it so different? Because you've already been on the field yourself as a player.
I think what made it different was the fact that I was now in the ownership role. So I knew that one wrong move could not only hurt me, but hurt my organization, the team. And not only that, but it's actually one of those type of things where if you mess this up in the city of Las Vegas, the opportunity next time is a lot slimmer. So I knew that I had to it was so much on the line. Like I was looking at it from a perspective that I was looking at it like, what if these guys come out here? These are guys are semi-professional. Some of my guys have never played football with. Some of my guys get injured really bad. I was looking at it from a perspective. What if, a fight breaks out, I'm the owner, what do I do? Is the police going to get called? I'm looking at it from a perspective that I'm the owner, but I'm also trying to make sure that my coaches are doing what they're doing. And then not only just that, I have to make sure fans are doing what they're doing. I don't want fans fighting on the sideline. It was so much. And then the fact that I was renting a facility from a place that was already skeptical about us playing on the field because they were like, yeah. They were like, you guys are a new team. So they didn't even know what to expect. So it was so many things happening. I didn't know even where to start. But the good thing about it is I can honestly tell you to this day, it was one of the funnest football games I ever played. It was one of the best games I ever played with. There was no fighting. We got out of there in a reasonable time. We left the field just the way we rented it. Our fans enjoyed it. The San Diego team, to this day, they still call me like, man, that was a fun game. They want to do things in the future. So everything worked out good. But the downfall came about a couple weeks after, when players just got real cocky, arrogant. I remember me setting up another game. We ended up playing game number 2. I ended up getting a broken leg in the first quarter. I think I caught like a 15-yard catch. I was setting us up for a touchdown. Second drive, our quarterback goes downfield, throws an interception. On the interception, I'm going to go make a tackle. And as I'm going to go make a tackle, I literally get pushed into a big old pile, and my leg is sticking outside of the pile, and somebody that's like 300 pounds happened to just step on my leg, and my leg snapped like a popsicle stick. And I was out for the season. So I was pretty much done. The crazy thing about it is, that day I didn't even know my leg was broke, so I taped my leg back up, and I went back in the game.
Thinking how is that even possible?
Because you know what? I didn't see anything sticking out because of all the tape that was taped on my leg. Come to find out, my fibula was actually sticking outside of my leg, but I didn't see it because it was taped up. I went back in for like 2 plays, and I was like, why do I keep feeling like I can't run? And I was just like, oh no, I'd rather sit on the sideline. I didn't really know my leg was broken until I get to the hospital later that afternoon. But to make a long story short,
you were able to put weight on it?
Yes, I was, because my adrenaline was rushing still, and I didn't really. The pain would hurt, but it just felt more like a sprain. But until after I got home, I was like, oh, this doesn't feel so good, and I see something sticking out my leg, and you come to find out it was the bone. The bone was sticking out, and so I still have a picture of it too. I have an X-ray saved in the room. But after that happened, we literally lost every single game after. I think it was actually even one game when we went to San Diego to play a different San Diego team, and I think they put up like 70 freaking points on us to nothing. And then, there was just a downfall and a spiral. The team just, a lot of players were leaving, a lot of players were catching attitudes. Then there was a rumor that surfaced about me and the ownership of my team, about us leaving the league. The commissioner got into it. So to make a long story short, after the season was over, I told myself, man, either I have the option of bringing the team back, which I tried, and nobody wanted to come back and play for the team because of what happened after the actual injury. Literally, players were leaving, moving out of state, playing for other teams. Some players feel like they didn't want to play in the league anymore. Some players didn't even like some of the coaching staff. So to make a long story short, the team crumbled.
You needed a camera crew to follow it through. That sounds like a TV series.
Yeah. And you know what? I sort of wanted that so bad because I felt like this was like a reality show rather than more of a football team because of the personalities. So it was really devastating to me because I actually went into like a hurtful stage for a long time because I felt like all the energy that I invested into this team, it didn't pay off. Yeah. So it hurt. The little bit of money, the little bit of time that I invested, just trying to do so much, and